Okay, Wednesday edition of the After Show. You got Wink and Justice with you. Wink over here on the East Coast.
And Justice on the West Coast. It's Wednesday's child is full of whoa, Nelly Wednesdays.
Yes.
That's right, because hold your horses, folks. We're in the middle of the week, and it's not over yet.
Yeah, indeed.
Speaking of which, how are you doing, Wink?
Not bad, not bad. It's 59 degrees, sunny. Mostly sunny, anyway. And not a bad day out there. A good day to mow the lawn, I guess. So I'll be doing that later, I guess. Reminder, get in the chat. Just go to netrootsradio.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the page, and on the right-hand side of the bottom of the page, there is a link to the chat. So click that. Join us there.
And I'll just mention, between you and me, Wink, I'm getting that robot voice every now and then speaking. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Skype. I think that's a Skype thing.
Yeah, just Skype. We may have to do some something, but let's hope not. But in the meantime, until an active Skype god tells us otherwise, banks of the Rogue River Valley of Southern Oregon, it is currently 44 degrees. I guess I'm going to have to believe it. And we're supposed to go to 77, some wispy clouds up in the sky, but showers beginning tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'm looks like a forecast of what they call rain and then showers.
Yeah.
So I got to tell you, when they say showers, that's a deluge to anybody else. Okay.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
Rain, that would be showers to everybody else. So, but we're going to have showers and rain until Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. So I guess I best get that lawn mowed now. Exactly. I won't be mowing it, and it become I did feed it recently, so as you're supposed to.
Yeah.
I should say I'm not a big fan of lawns, but because I'm into drought-tolerant landscaping.
There you go, yeah.
But since I got one, and we seeded it, and we do live in a rainforest, so it's always nice, to have rain. And if you have enough rain, well then, that's how you can get an English garden going.
There you go.
You got to have a lot of rain. This is not by any means an English garden. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yes. Whimsy. Other people might call it carnivalesque. I like to call it whimsy. Oh boy. So you're gonna have what in terms of nice?
Yeah, it's 59. Weather? It's gonna go up to about 64, 65.
Oh
today,
well, that's not crisp.
No, that's a decent day.
That's
really.
Nice.
That's probably going to be our warmest day of the week, I think, and then it starts to taper off. But it's not bad. We'll tell you, like I said, it's good lawn mowing weather. So.
One thing I might mention is that, of course, there's been all sorts of work going on here, in my little hamlet, my little village, and I see like the power guys are all around. Now, I also see big old spools of wire. I guess they're going to lay wire, but they were supposed to give us a big heads up if they were going to turn off the power.
Right.
The connections. So if I happen to just go away, it's either Skype,
right, or they pulled the plug.
The power, and that's what we call here on not only on the After Show but Netroots Radio. We call that an act of God.
Yeah,
because it's certainly without any control of our own, and seems to be just something in the chaos.
Yeah, I like to go ahead.
No rhyme or reason for it, just chaos.
I'd like to add for the pods for everybody out there looking for our pods. They're over on Spreaker. You can get to them by going to bit.ly, that bit.ly thing, bit.ly, bit.ly /NRR pods, NRR pods, PODS. So that's the link for that. We'll also put them on our diaries too, but that's where our pods are at currently, and they'll also be posted to Podbean when I get around to it when I get time for it. But Spreaker makes it a little bit easier for us to do it. So right now we're with Spreaker. Okay, so that's how it works.
Well, good. And be careful, because if you hit NPR pods, it'll take you to All Things Considered. And
there you go. Yeah. So yeah, make sure it's NRR. Yeah, not Roots Radio.
I get like alt-right people saying, "Well, you're not very smart for an NPR program director." I'm all, yeah, I'm not smart. NPR.
Yes, yes.
NRR. Yeah, it is, people.
There we go.
Speaking of which, I got to tell you, I know you're not supposed to, speak ill of your fellow American, but they do it all the time, right? Kenyan Muslim.
Yeah.
No, there was a Trump supporter on the local news here, and, with no sense of irony by the talking head holding the microphone. Now, I feel sorry for some of these people in these, smaller markets, because, they have dreams and aspirations, and they're learning their way, and it's just sad to see that some don't have, well, what I would consider to be, at least a well-rounded red life.
Yeah.
If you can't go out and live a well-rounded life out in the world and experience it by being there and traveling, because sometimes that's hard. You live in a little farm. The next thing to do is to be well-read, at least.
There you go.
And this is so hard for me, Wink. All my life I've grown up not to make issue about age.
Right.
And now, and I remember saying, I'll never be lording over kids. But it's hard to not say, well, they're kids. Oh, well, they're almost 30. I go, yeah, I know. They're kids. And kids meaning a lack of experience in many facets. Now, that's not true across the board, because I'm finding out that a bunch of boomers like you and me, have as much, well, not like you and me, but our age, right?
Right.
It's not as if, across the socioeconomic spectrum of boomerhood, right, that whole age group, that we were more enlightened about world events than our forebears and those that came after. That's not true. And we can see the results of that because we see them looking a lot like our age, who are Trump supporters.
Indeed.
So it was just funny watching this back and forth between this Trump supporter and this local reporter, I don't know, television talking head out in the street, right? Holding the microphone, who didn't know even, how funny it was what they were talking about. So the Trump supporter prefaces things by saying, of course, Obama is a Kenyan Muslim. He has no legitimacy as being president of the United States. And then the reporter doesn't, challenge that or anything. I can't even remember what she said, but then the next statement was, and it's Obama that's divided the country.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, it was Obama. You are a racist, and Obama's not only black, but he's a hippie too. And you look at that witch, Hillary Clinton, I mean, they're the embodiment of hippies. I mean, we have to understand it was the hippies taking over. Hillary Clinton sat on the Watergate trial. The hippies brought Nixon down. And you can see all the actors still there, Roger Stone.
Yeah.
Instance. And people are all surprised. Oh, this, and this is the other thing I can't stand. I know I'm jumping around here. But I keep hearing. I ran out of my. Yeah. Thank you. That smelled good.
Yeah.
Pundits and talking heads on the national stage going, the lack of civility, and both parties are responsible for it. No. One party was a bully and used the lowest common denominator in politicking to attack the other, and the other suffered it. No, both sides didn't do it. Okay? I just hate that. Not to say that we can do some dirty tricks, but, they're a little bit different. Yard sign removal, I think, might be a big one. I got to tell you, also jumping around, don't steal yard signs. Your candidate will fire you.
Yes.
They bad.
Yes.
There's a whole different thing going on, and that's petty BS. Because you see this all the time. I mean, you see a Hillary sign, then you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
We got like Trump signs out in the middle of the forest. I don't know. Maybe forest gnomes need to vote too. These are the issues we're going to be attending to today, Wink. They are: Syrian refugees stop a major terror attack in Germany. Okay. Yeah, that's because Trump says, the Muslims, they gotta speak up. So then you say that, and they go, oh, yeah, well, those were Christian Syrians. But when they come here, they can't tell the difference, and they don't want to. San Antonio, Texas cops violate city policy by wearing Trump hats while on duty. And consumer protection. We don't need no stinking consumer protection. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the District Columbia Circuit rules the structure of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is unconstitutional.
Imagine that.
Isn't that, this is Elizabeth Warren's thing.
Yep.
This is the one that's going after the mortgage people. And I don't know. God. Well, with that in mind, let's speak about how we're going to attend to the last half. Well, we're going to attend to the last half thusly, because we're going to report that NASA is using Hawaiian soil in a study to simulate gardening conditions on Mars. So there. You think we're going to go to Nova Scotia to get away? A little bit farther than that. And since it's the season, creepy clowns on Halloween is no laughing matter when deciding to give a trick or a treat.
Yeah.
All that. Plus the Connect, Unite, Act, Daily Codes community calendar and more on the after show with that ever so fine fellow over there on the East Coast with his ever so subtle upstate New York. Hillary Clinton didn't do anything for us, sure. At least elitism. Trump says, did they really hate Hillary Clinton upstate?
Well, she won twice, and she won up here.
Yeah, I know. That's
21.
what I'm saying. She won twice.
Yeah,
she won twice.
She won New York 21 twice, so, I mean,
There you go. Well, that just proves how coastal elite even they are up there. And his name is Wink, and this guy all the way back over here on the West Coast, unabashed elitism, as I've said over and over, unrestrained by any geographical limitations. And my name is Justice, and that's my real name. And we do this 5 days a week for an hour-ish because who loves you, baby?
Exactly. I gotta say, it was with Hillary too. She was the pothole mayor. She was on it. She would get around. She wouldn't just park her butt there in Washington D.C. She got out among the people here in New York. So yeah.
But when we talk about retail politics, we think about somebody, like going to, meetups, greet-ups, shakes, going to a local diner, say, and having a photo op. Retail politics.
Yep. And
then people think, well, retail politics is like knocking on doors and making phone calls. Well,
right.
Also, I mean, in terms of, because it's two things. She's assuring that she can get reelected, but I don't think that's it goes hand in hand.
Yeah,
you're going out doing the people's work,
yep.
And people see that you're doing their work, and they like you, and they vote for you again.
Heck yeah.
And they vote for your policies so that they become normal. Like, wow, this is what it means to live in a community I never knew.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah.
Yeah. So there. Okay, I always hate it when we get these just bigoted statements like why doesn't a particular ethnic group moderate their own? And then I look at like, well, why didn't you keep Dylan Roof in check? Right? Well, that was the guy that walked into the church and then killed the people inside the church because he's a white supremacist. Nobody says, wow, why don't white people take more care about making sure that these serial killer mall shooters, I mean, they must have seen all the guns and the bombs in the room, right?
Right.
So for some reason, the Syrian refugees are like a kicking boy, a Goldstein, the big enemy. This amorphous monster, boogeyman, creepy clown at the edge of the forest. When they're escaping the most savage and, I mean, we're talking chlorine bombs, Wink. Chlorine bombs. Jesus.
Yeah.
All right. Somehow, those people escaping that are grouped up into this monster. And we can't let them in because there might be a terrorist among them. Like hiding out, trying to pass as one. Of course, we got cops arresting kids because of creepy clowns. And hysteria knows no limits. And this story is by Esther Ushile out of Fingers. A group of Syrian refugees may have helped prevent a major terrorist attack from taking place in Germany after they held down another refugee inside an apartment in Leipzig while waiting for local police to arrive. Well, actually, they did just a little bit more than that. Jabbar al-Bakr, a 22-year Syrian national who was granted asylum status in Germany last year, was arrested on Sunday following a two-day manhunt after police found several hundred grams of an explosive at an apartment in Chemnitz, and that was enough to cause significant damage. Pardon me. Al-Bakr asked other Syrians on an online forum for lodging near the Leipzig Central train station. The Syrians took him home where they constrained him and then called police. They answered the ad. Wink. Well, because as we'll see here, it was a benign thing. Here's, somebody who needs help. We are a people, right?
Exactly.
Who do you extend help to? People, you're there, and now here's someone just coming. They need help. We need to show them the way. The German newspaper Bild reported that the refugees who housed him grew suspicious, posting a photo of him to Facebook to ask other Syrians whether he looked like the suspect wanted in the manhunt. Once confirmed, one man went to the local police while the other man kept Al-Bakr tied with electric cords and held him down in a headlock position. Al-Bakr offered one man 1,000 euros and $200, but neither refugee took the offer. Some people might call that a loser proposition. What, you didn't take the money? How are you ever going to get ahead in life? I kid. Okay, one refugee told Bill, I fled from Syria over the Balkan route. I am so grateful to Germany that it has taken us. It was very clear that we had to go to peace. Al-Bakr was among the more than 890,000 asylum seekers who were admitted into Germany last year. He was granted asylum in November of 2015, yet because of Al-Bakr's alleged ties to the Islamic State militant group, which he also claimed attacked in the western German state of Bavaria in July, what? which has also claimed, okay, the Islamic State claimed they had those attacks in Bavaria in July. Some German lawmakers from Angela Merkel's own Christian Democratic Union Party have taken the opportunity to justify why they want a crackdown on Syrian group often demonized as potential terrorists. The talk surrounding refugees has been especially rancorous in the United States, where the current Republican presidential candidate has accused the federal government of refugees and Muslim immigrants without serious vetting. Those claims do not have any basis in reality. Refugees undergo a months-long vetting process from numerous organizations and federal agencies. Okay. First, you got to have like 2 NGOs petition the UN. Then the UN has to look at it. It goes through that. And then it's submitted for review to our federal government or whatever government that they're trying to get people out of this conflagration in Syria. And when we say months long, sometimes it takes a couple of years. Serious vetting. Okay. So, and that has to all happen before they are allowed to step foot in the country. Immigrants from Muslim-majority countries also undergo stringent requirements before they can become U.S. citizens. Okay, well, still, I don't know what we're going to do.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess accept the fact that we're all in this together, I suppose. Now's not the time to separate us. Okay, this next article comes out of the San Antonio Express by Josh Baugh. Okay. I hate these like little videos that all the local papers have now that just like pop up all over the place. And then you have to like, and I have ad block on too.
Yeah, they just pop up. Yeah, I know. Pain in the butt.
Yeah, it just roboted voices on Skype just now too. Okay, here we go. More than a dozen San Antonio police officers, more than a dozen, appeared to violate city policy yesterday, Tuesday, when they appeared in a short video tweeted by GOP presidential candidate Donald Trump wearing his trademark red hats that read, "Make America Great Again." Of course, the part that they don't really see because it's much smaller than it says Sieg Heil. In this reporter's opinion.
Yeah.
The other part, "Make it great again," that's his. I think I saw that. But I'm not shocked. Are you?
No.
Mayor Ivy Taylor said she was deeply disappointed, and Police Chief William McManus said the officers violated policy and would be disciplined accordingly. No more barbecue for the rest of the week. What? No more barbecue for the rest of the week? You have violated an egregious policy we have here, egregiously. Well, we'll see. The San Antonio Police Department officers were part of the department's motorcycle unit that helped escort the Trump motorcade to and from the San Antonio International Airport. Their uniforms include the motorcycle unit patch, and many can be seen in tall black riding boots. The easier to goose step in, don't you think? The unit often helps transport dignitaries when they come to town. And that was stated by, of course, the president of the San Antonio Police Officers Association. City officials were not immediately able to comment on the video because they have to figure out, okay, how am I supposed to answer this? Do you know somebody up the chain that can tell me how to do this? I don't know. I mean, like, Uniformed officers aligning themselves with a potential demagogic. I mean, makes Franco look like a piker.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I don't know how to respond to that. In the 25-second video, Trump can be heard saying, "Thank you, fellas," to the officers. Several respond in kind and give him the thumbs up sign while wearing their red baseball caps. Oh, how nice. The union guy did say that such political activity is prohibited. So even the union guy, yikes. You can't do that kind of stuff while on duty, he said. So as Trump boards his plane to leave, the officers turn away and walk back to their parked motorcycles. The video captures at least 14 officers wearing the hats. Beneath them, the video text reads, "We will make America safe and great again together." Okay.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah.
Policy prevents employees from participating in political activity while acting in their capacity as city employees. Hell said these officers escort dignitaries all the time and seem surprised that they would don the political hats, but he expected a little punishment for their actions. It seems kind of benign, he said. They'd probably get a written reprimand or counseling to not do that sort of thing on duty. No more barbecue for you. Okay. Well. Yeah, I saw the tweet last night, and that was like, cops get to wear and do duty in uniform. Well,
Yeah.
you know how demagogic authority sort of collapses around itself? You know? It's sort of a trust. Okay, this next article is... Stop it. There we go. Is out of Reuters. By Lisa Lambert. A U.S. Court of Appeals on Tuesday ruled that the U.S. Consumer Financial Constitutional, because too much power is vested in the regulators' full director, but that it can continue operating with the director removable by the president. So I guess we need to keep the president in place, right? Well, let me get through this, and then I'll have a little commentary real quick. So the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia ruled in favor of the lender, PHH Corp., in its challenge to watchdog created by the 2010 Dodd-Frank Financial Reform Act, threw out $109 million penalty imposed on the company. PHH, in January of 2014, accused the lender of referring customers to mortgage insurers who in turn bought reinsurance from a PHH unit. The Bureau cast the reinsurance payments as, yes, that's what they're called in real life, improper, illegal kickbacks. Imposed a $109 million penalty against PHH in June. Because this is what the Consumer Board did. Went through all those mortgages, and every single one that went through, and a fee was paid, a kickback was paid, that was imposed on the penalty, and it added up to $109 million. And the judge said, well, that was just the Financial Bureau directors and the checks and balances on them. Which is pretty astounding, because it was set up so that a president or political operative could exert pressure on them and buy them off. And so the question was made, well, the FBI and the DOJ, but apparently they are under checks and balances by the president. So we'll see. We'll see. Right now, we have a president that says, do your job. Do you think that a failed billionaire who's made his billions that he's lost repeatedly wants regulators looking over his shoulder? I don't think so.
No.
All right, let's get to our Jim Hightower break. I know it's an old one. I'll get a new one up. I apologize. And then we'll go through the Connect, Unite, Act Daily Coast community calendar and the news for the last half. You are listening to the After Show on Netroots Radio with Wake and Justice, and we will be right back.
The media establishment has labeled Donald Trump a populist, endorsing his absurd assertion that while he might be a billionaire, he'll be our billionaire, fighting for us commoners. I'm not telling anyone how to vote, and I certainly understand the inclination to grab the biggest stick you can find to whack the bejesus out of those political and corporate elites holding you and your family down. And Trump has sold himself as the biggest, baddest stick around. But I am here to say, don't be a sucker. There's not a single populist muscle in Donnie's whole plutocratic body. He'll sell out wage earners, small business people, and anyone else to serve his own needs or whims, as his lifelong record, as opposed to his recent rhetoric, reveals. Donnie learned to be self-serving from his father, Fred, who became a millionaire by getting federal housing subsidies to build apartment buildings in New York City. Then, as landlord, he flagrantly discriminated against black people trying to rent an apartment. One of Fred's tenants was none other than Woody Guthrie, who was so appalled by Daddy Trump's greed and racism that he wrote songs denouncing him. The Donald not only inherited Fred's fortune, but also his business ethics, including engaging in wage theft, outsourcing his expensive Trump-branded products to such low-wage countries as China and Vietnam, and illegally using and underpaying undocumented immigrants to build his luxury projects. Also, he's been sued hundreds of times for stiffing cabinet makers, plumbers, and other small business suppliers. This is Jim Hightower saying, Donald J. Trump is a swaggering son of privilege who has never been on the side of working people and most certainly would not be a populist president. To the contrary, in his heart, mind, and his whole being, he's nothing but a Trumpist of, by, and for himself.
Need an antidote to the progressive blues? Want some good news about how grassroots folks are rebelling against the corporate powers and winning? Well, here's an easy-to-swallow pill for you, the Hightower Lowdown. Hightower's monthly newsletter will give you the lowdown, even as it lifts you up. It's 4 pages a month, jam-packed with facts you can use, actions you can take, and Jim's own Texas humor, all for only $15 a year. To become a lowdowner, go to hightowerlowdown.org.
Powered by Unity Networks. You are listening to netrootsradio.com.
Please hang up and try again.
From a point at sea to the circles of your mind, a new force is at work for planetary transformation. New radio for a new Earth.
Okay, we're back.
And indeed, we are back, and thank you for sticking with us. This is the After Show with Wink and Justice. Justice here along the banks of the Rogue River and the Rogue River Valley of Southern Oregon on the West Coast. Wink is in upstate New York 21 on the East Coast. And our crew, well, of course, they are. The ethereal creatures reside in the cloud. Where else? And it's because of that ability to reside in the cloud that they have the advanced intergalactic technical abilities that allow Nevers Radio, thus by extension the After Show, to span the globe, the solar system, the universe, and if there's a beyond, it'll be beyond that too.
Oh yeah, heck yeah.
Of it. Yes. We'll just imagine it. What was it I heard? Is that Silicon Valley's fantasy of all of this existence is just like a computer simulation?
Yeah, I did see that.
Just an extension of the simulation that shows startups are successful.
Right.
Okay, enough of that. Today's Connect, Unite, Act Daily Coast Community Calendar. Oh, excuse me just for one moment here. I have to do something.
Okay. Yeah.
I am so sorry. Thank you for jumping in just there ever so briefly.
Yeah.
I had the mic because I have the knees coming on, and I feel much better now. We'll see.
Go.
Okay, today's Connect, Unite, Act Daily Codes community calendar is facilitated by Navajo today.
Yes.
She wants to know, will you celebrate after the election? Now, of course, you know Navajo.
Yes, I do.
Is a party planner.
Yes.
Extraordinaire. But I've done that work as well. And you kind of need time,
Yes.
I mean, we only have less than 4 weeks now. That's not enough time. So she doesn't want to jinx it, but do you think you might celebrate after the election if it goes our way? Oh, I'm sorry. You're taking care of messaging. I will celebrate in my quiet way. I might do a jig.
Yeah. I don't know if I don't think we have it after election celebration sort of, I guess, thing at the local Dem headquarters, but it's not that big a thing. I mean, we welcome winners and losers all alike, but it's just kind of a low profile kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, mostly I got to tell you, the extent of my celebration is like wiping my brow and going, "Wow, that was close."
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, pretty much.
Scary. And we came out of it. Or, the other part is like, damn it. What the hell am I going to have to put up with for the next 4 to 8 years? 4 to 8 years.
I remember coming home from work, and I had like a 22-mile commute at that time. And that's when Bubba Clinton was announced as the winner of the 92 election. Beating Bush, anyway, Bush 41. And, man, I just was doing like a happy dance in the car, doing 60 miles an hour for the last 3-4 miles of that trip, that's for sure. I said, finally, the Democrats are taking control of the damn presidency, because it's been 12 years of Republican rule, and we certainly didn't need any more than that.
Well, also, let's remember, they thought they had, it sewn up.
Yes.
And it was just, they could not admit defeat.
Right.
I mean, this was the first times where I saw an actual, they went through the motions, but they acted like, no way we could have lost.
Right.
How is that possible? I mean, we know how to cheat. We got the best cheaters in the world. And we're supposed to win.
Exactly.
How could this? It means that they cheated better than us. I mean, they went into shock.
They did, yeah. Yeah, I was doing the old happy dance in the car.
I do.
Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe that we'd stolen that from Bush 41.
Well, let's not count our chicken because
yeah, exactly.
Need to win by such an extraordinary margin because there's still going to be a lot of true believers on the other side. We're talking about revolution. I'm serious. They're talking about taking up Second Amendment remedies.
Yes.
What are they going to do? Take out their neighbors for not believing the way they do?
I guess.
I don't know what they mean by that. But it's scary. Yeah. So you're going to have a sizable portion of that, which is usually about a third, of their group. But to really give the media the semblance that we would have a legitimate government is if it's just by such an astounding margin.
Yeah.
90% sounds good to me.
Yeah, that's the way we want it right there. Yeah.
October 24th between 12 and 6 p.m. in Asheville, North Carolina. The Asheville, North Carolina Daily Cossacks are going to be meeting up at White Duck Taco located at 12 Biltmore Avenue in Asheville. So go to the appropriate link at the diary and put your name on the list. And then mark this down because on November 19th, there's the San Francisco Cossacks holiday party. And it seems like Navajo's running that. So she needs time.
Yes.
All right. Well, it's a holiday party, too. And where will that be? Oh, it's going to be in the wine country in Windsor. That's right. A private residence will be given to the folks who RSVP. So to do that, go to the Connect Unite Act Daily Coast Community Calendar Diary. Look for the appropriate link. It will be a potluck. So get your dish in with Navajo. And that is your Connect Unite Act Daily Coast Community Calendar for the 12th of October. Of 2016.
There you go.
All right. So now, without further ado, we are in the last half. Sort of. Way past. We've been in the last half, technically. Sort of like beyond the universe.
Yeah.
Amorphous region that doesn't make any sense in the metaphorical sense. Oops. Okay. Boy, hold on just a second. Once again, I don't know what it is. Not really a whole lot of dust blowing out there, but I've just started to get.
It could be seasonal. It could be one of those seasonal things that you just can't shake them. I get that. I get that more in the spring, summer than I do this time of year. But yeah,
there's no way I'm taking an over-the-counter remedy.
Yeah,
no way. So I don't.
Right.
Okay. This story is by Juliana Rose Pignataro out of the International Business Times. Matt Damon's character lived off of potatoes he grew by mixing Martian dirt, feces, and water while he was stuck on Mars in the 2015 film The Martian. While NASA scientists haven't followed that recipe exactly, they're eager to find a way to cultivate food on Mars. New testing started on September 30th to develop a Martian garden capable of growing vegetables on the red planet. NASA has all hands on deck to prepare for life on Mars after President Barack Obama announced Tuesday that humans will be on their way there by the 2030s. Finding something to eat when they get there is a daunting challenge. Well, some of those people that are be going there, I think you just give them just a pretty good supply of fast food when that runs out.
You could pop up a McDonald's there or something.
McDonald's franchise.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Indeed. Yeah. You get a burger when you get there.
Or Sonic.
Or Sonic, yeah. Sonic would be good.
I would have a Sonic. Astronauts en route to Mars will have food to eat on the trip there and back, but it would save considerable space if they were able to just bring seeds for their time on the actual planet. Growing their own food on Mars may also increase morale by reminding astronauts of life back home, NASA explained. Or you might experience what a lot of gardeners experience and go, what the hell? My tiny little plant is dead. It reminds you of all the failures that you did back home on the planet Earth, and it drove you to go to another one to see if you can make a better life.
There you go.
Okay. Now, I suppose they will be shielding these gardens from the ultraviolet rays that decimate life.
Yeah, I think there's going to have to be some sort of filter screen or something, yeah.
So I don't know how that works. Well, I'm not the scientist here. I mean, they've grown gardens before simulating. Well, no, they haven't really. Have they? I mean, they've lived in isolation pods, to simulate being off Earth for a while. I guess they've grown things inside, but, we still have an atmosphere, right?
Right.
So, okay. Well, we got some time. NASA's Kennedy Space Center partnered with Buzz Aldrin Space Institute in Melbourne, Florida, to find out how to get Mars' barren volcanic rock to yield something edible, using 100 pounds of soil from Hawaii to mimic conditions on Mars. NASA's veggie team is experimenting with different nutrients and quantities for the greatest crop yields. Hawaiian soil was chosen after teams analyzed data from Mars. From Mars orbiters and rovers, and concluded that it was the most similar soil on Earth. Of course, the Capricorn 1 crowd would say, well, that's not mysterious because everything that they're showing us is in the crater of some Hawaiian volcano anyway.
Heck yeah.
Soil, by definition, contains organics. It has plant life, insects, worms. Mars doesn't really have a soil, said Ralph Fritchie, Fritsch, the senior project manager for food production at Kennedy Space Center. The team is trying to grow radishes, Swiss chard, kale, Chinese cabbage, snow peas, dwarf peppers, and tomatoes, all high in nutrients and specifically tested for astronauts. The experiment is set to take 9 months with an official report planned for March of next year. Once completed, it will provide vital information for future planned missions to Mars. There are challenges to pioneering Mars, but we know they are solvable. That's right. I guess rovers and robots isn't enough for us. We got to go there too. I like the idea. I like the idea, possibly, saving the planet while we're here.
Yeah, while we're still here.
Making plans. I mean, there's no doubt. There's no doubt our sun's going to go through its phase and peter out. Except when it peters out, it's not just like, oh look, the lights are dimming. No, it won't be like that. So I guess we would want to go somewhere else, right? It's just funny that we'll come to the conclusion that the only way to do it is to basically get obliterated down to one cell type entities scattered across the universe, and in time we'll coalesce and we'll start all over again.
There you go.
Like it's happened before. Okay. I swear to God, Wink, there's this Halloween, I don't know what it is about mass hysteria, but with a fervor, I mean, people are, they're shooting it at creepy clowns, at what they think are creepy clowns. And like in instances where like a lady's walking her dog.
Yeah.
And somebody heard a noise and they shot. They said, well, she looked like a creepy clown when I shot. Now she looks like a lady walking her dog, but when I first saw her, she looked like a creepy clown.
Hell yeah.
Which is one of the first traits of mass hysteria. Right?
I guess. Yeah, it sounds like it, yeah.
So it concerns me. Well, let me put it this way. I'm not wearing any costumes.
Yeah. On Halloween, no. Yeah.
And even then, I'm not assured, right?
Right.
Well,
somebody may confuse you with a creepy clown, and yeah.
The orange tracksuit looked like a creepy clown.
Yeah.
Never know.
All right.
So this,
I don't know. Yeah.
Also a story by Reuters. Sightings across the U.S. of creepy clowns with red lips and fixed smiles have become anything but a laughing matter and have cast a menacing tone as Halloween approaches.
Yeah.
See, I'm just trying to. This is what I'm trying to figure out. How did the idea of even like spreading a creepy clown as being some sort of meme that would cause people to go into a fit?
Yeah.
This particular article points at a possibility, mercantile in origin, but we'll see. Since late August, the trend of trying to scare unsuspecting people has grown, with scary-looking clowns lurking in woods, appearing on dark roads, or driving in cars. Some brandishing knives.
Uh,
I think they're knives. I think they're juggling pins. The spine-chilling sightings have been reported in states ranging from California and Minnesota to South Carolina, New Jersey, and New York, and have generated the hashtag #IfISeeAClown and clown sightings on Twitter, which has 500,000 followers. Even the White House weighed in on the sightings. Press Secretary Josh Ernst told reporters in response to a question that local police take it quite seriously. You know, there was a guy in San Francisco down by the wharf, and he would hide in the bushes, and then people would sit by this park bench, and then he would grab people's ankles. And then people would scream, and he'd stand up, and he'd be a big bush. And he was the Bushman.
Yeah.
And he was there for, 30 years, right? So unsuspecting tourists, they'd get scared. Everybody have a great laugh, I mean, in the same area that Robin Williams did his street theater and clown routine, by the way.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Or mine, but,
Yeah.
And everybody had a great laugh. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think people have been watching that movie, that Stephen King.
Well, they bring that up here.
Yeah.
If anything is suspicious, be it somebody verbally or physically acting menacing in any type of costume, notify the police right away.
Yes.
Said Captain Lawrence Martin of the Wayne Police Department in New Jersey, which responded to a report of a clown sighting last week.
We'll get him.
In nearby Fairlawn, where young adults were stopped following a scary clown sighting report, police said trick-or-treaters should be vigilant.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Which brings up my question. You got a creepy clown on your doorstep, trick or treat? Which do they get?
Yeah.
Lump.
Exactly.
I don't know. Mini Snickers bar or a call 911?
Yeah.
Holy hell. Okay.
Man.
Have a heightened awareness about what is going on around you, says Sergeant Brian Metzler of the Fairlawn Police Department. Best-selling author Stephen King, whose 1986 novel It weaves a tale of a Maine town being terrorized by a supernatural being that appears as a clown named Pennywise.
Yes.
And he took to Twitter to address the phenomenon. Hey guys, time's to cool down the clown hysteria. Most of them are good. Cheer up. Cheer up the kiddies. Make people laugh. Clowns are okay. A film adaptation of King's book is due to be released next year.
Yeah.
But the studio has denied any link to the scary clown sightings.
Right.
I don't know. Guy talking about jailing and killing his opponent on national TV. Not scary. And he's got orange skin and a fright wig, too. I don't understand. It's misplaced hysteria. With the reports and hoax calls have been that have been a headache for police, a concern for parents, and resulted in arrests in some states. It has been a boost for online costume stores. Why, of course. There's been a bit of an uptick, said Lee Windiger, the inbound marketing manager for Minnesota online retailer HalloweenCostumes.com. She said clown costumes are up about 40% this year, but it was difficult to say if it is due to the creepy clown sightings. I think if we dug a little bit deeper, the NRA is taking out ads to maybe, protect yourself with this, this Ruger is the best one to take out zombie creepy clowns.
Yeah.
Especially on Halloween. Clown costumes go up. Maybe they're investing in these ads.
You might want to be packing when you're trick-or-treat route. There's no question about it.
A gun costs a little bit more than a clown costume.
Yeah.
Get a bunch of people in clown costumes. People got to buy their guns.
Yeah. Yep.
Holy hell.
Oh, man. You might want to stay in this Halloween. I don't know.
Online retailer HalloweenExpress.com has seen a threefold rise in clown masks this year.
Wow.
And the Kentucky-based company said 8 of the top 10 sellers are evil or scary clown masks, compared to 5 in the top 10 last year.
Yeah.
8 of the top 10. Last year it was only half. Wow. Yeah, well, I'm staying in.
Yeah, exactly.
When I still lived at home.
Yeah.
My parents stopped letting me go trick-or-treating when I got out of junior high.
There you go.
There was no trick-or-treating in high school.
Right.
But how we got to make up for it is that we made a haunted walkway to the front door.
There you go. Yep.
That kind of thing. And so, some years it'd be like a tunnel of sheets that you painted, and you'd get the cadaver coming out of the coffin thing, on some sort of or in a timer, right? You had that. You had the creepy music. You had the spider web stuff and the creepy crawly things, hey, right?
You got to have all that, yeah.
And oftentimes, I would dress up and I'd be part of the display, so you couldn't tell who was, the stuffed thing,
right,
and who was the real.
Exactly.
That I would scare people. Do that now, and you could get shot.
Yeah, do that now, and you're looking at some Second Amendment correction there, yeah.
Yeah, and a parent would say, "Well, yeah, stand your ground."
Yeah, exactly.
And I would say, "I'm on my property. I was going to give you, some Reese's bits."
Yeah, exactly.
Not just little bits, but the whole thing.
Yeah, instead.
Now I've got lead in my gut. Thank you very much. Which reminds me, don't give out individual pieces of candy that can be wrapped around wrapped. It's probably not a good idea. I, as a parent, throw that stuff away.
Yeah.
It's not in a sealed package. It's going in the garbage.
Exactly.
So none of this, it's like Starburst. They got the little mini things. There's like 3 or 4 or 5 in the little mini package.
Yep.
Don't open up the package and hand out one of those.
Right.
Give them a package. I won't do it. Yeah, I'm just saying, as a parent, I look for that stuff, and individually wrapped things was probably not a good idea because it can be rewrapped.
Right.
Right? If they're not sealed, probably not a good idea to give them out. And if you see them, I would suggest in the garbage.
Yeah.
Just to be on the safe side.
They probably came from the creepy clowns, so yeah.
There you go.
You know.
You never know.
Right.
No, but the thing is I'd much rather be prudent in those things.
Oh, hell yeah.
And don't be cheap. Well, I can give 5 kids, one of these each, one little candy corn per kid.
Yeah.
Give me a package of candy corn. Give me a break.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's get out of here. Oh, my God. Today's Wednesday week.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
As I said at the top. Well, that means it's Gibber Your Jabber tonight, a 2-hour opportunity for a live call-in show to Gibber Your Jabber with Wink.
Exactly.
That begins at 9 p.m. on the West Coast, midnight on the East Coast. And do that. Otherwise, I would suggest stay tuned to Netroots Radio 24/7, 365. And why? Well, of course, because who loves you, baby? Okay, Wink, I will see you on the other side.
All right. We're out.